Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Stanley, and this is the Connect Groups webinar. And I am one of the launch consultants here at the city. We have 4 launch consultants, so I may have talked to some of you. But before we get started, if you will look at your GoToWebinar control panel, and there's a question box. Do you mind typing in there if you can hear me and see my screen? You should see a slide that just says Connect Groups. Okay, great. Looks like we're awesome. Okay, then we will get started. So today I'm going to demonstrate how both the Connect kiosk and Connect Groups work on the city and how you can implement them at your church. You can choose to use these 2 features independently, but they are meant to work together to effectively connect your newcomers into community at your church. So to start, I'll just briefly explain what these 2 features are. Hold on one second. Sorry, it's not letting me exit out of the slide mode. Okay. So you should see a Connect kiosk here at on my screen. And so the Connect kiosk is like a front door to your church's city. It's typically set up in your church lobby on laptops, or volunteers can even walk around with it pulled up on iPads or any smartphone. The screen can look different based on if you choose to use Connect Groups or not, which I'll show you in a little bit. But the basic idea is that someone will enter some basic information, and they will be invited into either your church or campus group if you have campuses, as well as to a Connect group if you choose to utilize that option. So the Help Me Get Connected button would invite them to a Connect group, and then the Only Send Invitation button would only send them an invitation into your church or campus group. And you'll understand this more as we go along. So Connect groups are, you know how I said the kiosk is like the front door to your church's city? Well, Connect groups are the entry hall where your most welcoming people, we call them Connect agents. I'm sure you will have a different name for them, but these Connect agents are ready and waiting to receive newcomers, show them around, introduce them to the rest of the church. This is done through a very customized design that's something of a cross between a group and a message. So if you've already used the city, or if you're just getting new to the city, you'll learn that there's different group types, and Connect groups are a group type, and the special feature is what I'm about to show you. So first I'm going to show you the user side of a Connect group. So this is our demo instance, and Ginger, let's say she walked up the Connect kiosk that I showed you, entered her information, chose the Help Me Get Connected button. So then she received an invitation through her email to join the city. She filled out her profile, and then since she chose the Help Me Get Connected button, she is immediately put into a Connect group. But from her side, it looks more like a message instead of the typical group where you can start a topic, an event, etc. So she can see this automated message that you'll set up, which I'll show you when we set up a Connect group. So this is Victoria is her Connect agent. She can view this message. It's just a welcome message that you write that will automatically be sent from the Connect agent that is assigned to her. So Victoria didn't have to manually go in here and write this. This was automated. Or she is in this Connect group, so from her side, the Connect group looks like a message. So it's either way, and since it's a message, it was also emailed to Ginger. But from the Connect agent side, it looks completely different. So let me show you. Emma is a Connect agent, and so she is also in this same Connect group that Ginger was in. But remember, Ginger, it looks like a message. But for Emma, it looks like this. So you can see she has been assigned different new people through the kiosk. And she can also, she is a manager in this group, so she has different abilities to view the other participants that are assigned to different people, different agents. She could see any invitations, if there's pending invitations out there, as well as see all and manage all of her Connect agents. She could choose who to allow new participants to be assigned to. If you uncheck it, then obviously they would not be assigned. If there's several people checked, then it's just randomly assigned to different people. So some churches choose to, let's say the leader of the group or anyone you choose, to have everyone go through one person, and then that person could assign it based on gender or a variety of things to the Connect agent that you think would best help that new person. So we'll go more into detail into all of this, but I wanted to give you a quick overview. Another quick overview thing to point out is that you can choose different stages that's customizable, as well as a great feature that we'll go through is helping them find a service group and a community group. Okay, so first, obviously, for this to work at all, you need to set up a Connect group. So let's go ahead and set one up. So in order to, first actually there's some kiosk settings that an account admin can do. So if you're not an account admin, make sure to just take down some notes and then have a conversation with your account admin and tell them what you need them to do. So go to your admin panel. And then if you're account admin, you have this site settings option. So go there and then features. So scroll down, and then this box right here, all these Connect mode options, is what I'm about to go through. So first I want to mention this allow online sign-up and unsecured kiosk. This is an option you can choose if you want anybody to be able to get to the kiosk and request an invitation from anywhere. Churches that choose this option would typically put the link to the kiosk on their website. It's also an option at the beginning of your launch to pass out a link to the kiosk. And just so you know, the kiosk is really, it's just your city URL /kiosk. That's all it is. So that's the URL to get to the kiosk. If you choose to have a secured kiosk, you would be asked when you go to that URL your kiosk username and password to get to it. So I would say most churches choose to keep it secure so that people that are signing up for the city through a kiosk is at a church event, typically Sunday mornings in your lobby, and your Connect agent leader or whoever would know the username, password to open up the kiosk, and on however many devices you have, again, laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone, and allow the kiosk to be open at a church event for anybody to sign up that way. So that's an option you can choose, and again, you can turn it on at the beginning, turn it off after launch if you want to keep it more secured. And then obviously the username's always kiosk, but if you're new to the city, the default password is Jesus Saves, but make sure to change the password to something that is just different and something that's easy enough for whoever needs to know it can remember. So okay, so then there's different options here. So to disable all Connect options, this is what you want to choose if you don't want to utilize Connect groups right away or ever, but you want to be able to use the kiosk to allow people to request an invitation into your church or campus level group. So if you choose this option, the kiosk actually looks different than the screen I initially told you, which let me switch to it just so you can see. So I will go to the Training City kiosk, which again, it's just your city URL /kiosk. And I didn't choose that allow online sign up. So this is the username and password box that you would see. So it's always kiosk. And then I know that password. So if you disable all Connect options, literally all you will see is your name, a request for the name and the email address, and then invite me. So that invite me would just send them an invitation to your church level group. If you have a campus, when the first screen you would see would have you choose a campus for that kiosk to be open to, so that the kiosk knows what group to invite them to. So if they're invited into a campus, they're automatically invited into your larger church level group. Okay, so back to site settings. The other two options are to just remove Connect tags. That means, so this is, the Connect options are enabled on this screen. So the Connect tags are, if someone chooses this looking for a specific group, they would get this drop down of the different tags that you as an account admin chose to have that your groups can be tagged with. So if you want to not have this, you would choose the disable tags. And then enable all Connect options is basically if you want your kiosk to look exactly like this. It would have all the options there. Okay. So now to create a Connect group, you need to be a groups admin. So again, if you're not a groups admin, just make sure that you're taking notes. And at the end, I'll show you. We have all of this on our help desk, so it's not like you have to, this is your only chance of learning how to do things. So you will have those resources to go to your groups admin if needed. So I'm going to go to groups and create a new group. And let's call it Training Connect. And then here, this is that group type that I talked about earlier. So I would choose Connect Group Type. One thing to mention, though, is that account admins have the option to change terminology of these group types. So there's a possibility that this could be called something different, like welcome, or whatever you as a church choose to call these groups. So if you go in here and you're looking for Connect and it doesn't say Connect, then just ask your account admin what they renamed that group type to. So your parent group always needs to be either your church level group or a campus if you have campuses. Otherwise, the kiosk won't know what to invite them to. And then you can choose a group leader, which I will choose myself, and create. So when you hit create, that group leader is sent an invitation into the group, and then you're automatically put into the settings side of this new group. So there's lots of different things you can do here, but I just want to point out that a few important things to make sure to do when you're setting up your first Connect group and any additional groups. So make sure to describe your group, because that description will be on the group info page for the Connect group. So when people happen upon it, because they can search for groups on the city, that they'll know what this group is all about. Because people can join the Connect group not only through the Connect kiosk, but also if they're already on the city, they can join it as well if they want to help getting connected. And then there's a default custom message for the new invitations to this group. That is important as well, because that is the welcome message that's within the invitation that they get. So it won't be that welcome greeting I showed you that Ginger got from Victoria. This is for the actual invitation. So you want it to be different than what's down here, is where you type in that welcome greeting that Victoria got. So just as a reminder, this is that welcome greeting, okay? So make sure to put a welcome greeting there with whatever you want to say. In advanced settings, the one thing I want to point out is consider to automatically approve requests to join this group, because if somebody does happen upon the Connect group in your group search, then that would allow them to join the group without a leader approval. It also allows you to get an auto join link, which I'll mention a little later, but you could create a promotion to the Connect group with that auto join link, so that when someone clicks on the promotion, they're automatically added to the Connect group. So definitely consider adding that. Okay, so your Connect group is all set up now. It's ready to add your Connect agents. So whatever team you have in place that you want to welcome your newcomers and help them get connected, it's time to invite them in. So you can invite them a couple different ways. Since you're already on this screen, you could just go to add participants and start inviting them this way. Or you could accept the invitation into your Connect group and then go right here and click invite somebody. And if they're already in the city, you would just start typing their name. If they're not already in your city, you could send them an email. But then the important thing is, so if you invite them, just like if you invite anybody else, they're going to be a participant. So participants of the Connect group only see what I showed you that Ginger sees. So they only see this welcome message, right? So in order for your Connect agents to be able to view this special screen, you need to change their role to either volunteer, manager, or leader. If they have either of those, any of those roles in the group, they see this screen and have these special features. So when you invite your new your Connect agents, obviously you want to give them a heads up of what's happening, but in order, you could come here to change their role under settings change, because if you're the only one in the group, they're going to be assigned to you, so they're under your assigned participants. You could just go here and change the role. Oh, I can't make, this is an offline user, therefore I cannot make them a volunteer because they're not on the city. But under here, I could make Elizabeth a leader, manager, or volunteer, and then she would be able to see this screen and start being assigned different newcomers. Or you could go to from the admin panel, when you go to view participants, I don't have any participants, so that's not helpful. You could, from there, once people accept that invitation into that group, you would see view participants, and then you could change their role from that screen as well. So once everybody's in the city, all your Connect agents, it's time to train them on what they can do within the Connect group, what you want them to do. So one thing also to mention, which I showed you at the beginning, is this automatic assignment. So once all your Connect agents are in and you've changed their role, you want to make sure to decide if you want that person to be assigned new participants or if you want to funnel them through one person. That's your decision. Another thing to mention is if any volunteer, they can only see what's assigned to them, but managers and leaders have the ability to see all the agents, change their roles, see their assigned participants. You could change what agent they have, what assigned to you, things like that. So just consider that as you're deciding what role to give all of your agents. Okay, so there's really 4 primary things that Connect agents can do. The first is obviously just conversing with this newcomer. So they were sent that initial email message, and so you can go here. So there's this Notes and Messages tab. This is where all notes and messages are held. So you can click on Messages and see, obviously, Elizabeth was originally assigned to Bill, but now she's been assigned to Emma. And you could reply from here, or as a Connect agent, these also show up in your Messages tab on your navigation panel. But you can keep, right back and forth here, get to know them, see what they're looking for, all of that. Then obviously you can also make notes. So this would be anything that, is somewhat captured that's not within the message. And this way, if you ever need to pass on one of your newcomers to another Connect agent, then all these notes are stored here and they can pick up right where you left off. So the next thing is really, our heart behind Connect groups is really to help these newcomers find a group. So you can help them find a service group, which takes you to your church's Service Opportunities tab, which is under, if you're just normally, trying to see where your service opportunities are, it's under the Growth tab. The way that Service Opportunities got to that Growth tab is under a service group type. A group leader created a need and checked the box Service Opportunity. So that's how this page is populated. But if you click on Find a Service Group from that Connect group page, the special feature is that you have this Make Connection button next to all of these different service groups. So let's say from, with talking to your newcomer, you find out that they're an accountant and they would just really love to help out on the financial team. So you could just click that service opportunity, click Make Connection, and then it just starts a message between you, the leader of that financial team group, and the newcomer. So you could just say, hey, Anders, Elizabeth is an accountant, she's ready to serve. What are the openings? It's just an introduction message that you start between the newcomer and the group leader of that service group. So the other option is to help them find a community group. So if I click Find a Community Group, actually let me show you something really quick. So remember on the kiosk, these tags? If somebody chose any of those tags, they would show up under notes. Let's see if I can find an example of somebody that did choose tags. Apparently not. But it would show up under notes there. So you would know any tags that that person chose, so that when you go to find a community group, it takes you to this map where your tags are, and you could, you know, narrow it down however they chose, and then help them find a group that way. Or you can just simply look at all the groups in the area. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see some more groups. So this blue icon with the person is where this person lives. So you know that because that newcomer accepted their city invitation and filled out their profile with their address. And then you can see all the groups that are near them. This one's red because when that group was set up, they chose an ideal size, and that size limit has been met. So therefore it's red. But these green ones show that basically they're open to new people. So, and you can see this down here, a full group and space available. So let's say I think this one's the closest to Elizabeth. So I can click on this icon and I could see more about this group, read about it. This is where that group description I told you to fill out for the group, for the Connect group when you're setting it up, shows up. This was made automatically join, which is what I told you to do for Connect groups as well. So I could click join now for myself and join it, but again, I'm just trying to help Elizabeth. So I could message a group leader here. This is just their group info page. This is what anyone could see, but I just want to show you back on this map. If I click on here, I clicked what I just showed you. I clicked on Meter Maids to see their group info page, but I can click Connect Elizabeth with Rita, who is the group leader of that Connect group. And again, it's just a message between myself, Rita, and Elizabeth to get them connected. Okay? So, along the way, close some of these tabs. As you're helping them get connected, you can choose different stages to keep track of the progress, which is important. And these stages are completely customizable. So, you know, for this demo instance, we created the stages. They're shown up here, and they're also right here. So we have initially new, initially contacted, visiting a group, visiting additional group, found small group, and follow-up. But those are completely customizable, and it's just important to keep track so that the group leader can kind of see the progress of the group, and then also administrators, reporting admins, there is an assimilation statistic that they can view as well. So again, you can completely customize these, which I'll show you in a second. But so really, again, the 4 things that Connect agents can do is conversing, just talking back and forth via messages. They can make additional notes, help them find a group, and then keeping track of progress. And then, as you can see here, this Marilyn is an offline user. So instead of notes and messages, because the message is via the city, there's notes and contact info. So the whatever contact info Marilyn inserted via the Connect kiosk is right here, so you can still get in touch with them. So there's her email and phone, and then while that person's talking to them, you can encourage Marilyn to get on the city, explain the benefits of the city, things like that. But if you're contacting them not via the city, you can still take notes, so it's all here, and keep track of what stage that person's in. Okay? So if you're overseeing the Connect group, one of the important things is creating these stages. So if you're a manager or leader, you see this settings icon, which you can get to for the description of your group, the custom message for new invitations, just like from the admin panel you could do, and then the group welcome message. And down here is where you can totally create the stages that you want as part of your Connect group. You can add as many as you want. You can delete them. If one of your stages is send a postcard or a worship CD or whatever it may be, you can make that a stage here as well. Okay? And then the other main thing when you oversee a Connect group is to be able to view all of the participants and reassign participants, which I kind of quickly breezed over. But so I am a manager of this group, so I can see all of the agents here. I can, again, choose to have them not be assigned new agents if they're going on vacation. I could change their role, and I can see their participants. So I could go here and to settings change the agent. And if you have more than one Connect group, you could change the group. So that's kind of really it. If you're managing a Connect group, there's not a lot to it. Obviously, you're supporting all of your Connect agents. So when a newcomer, let's say they've gone through the process, they're connected, you want them out of the Connect group, you could just change their role to inactive. And that is what gets them out of the Connect group. So that's another important thing to teach your Connect agents, so that you don't just have these people floating that don't need to be in your Connect group. Just put them to inactive when they're ready to be released into the city. So there's just a couple extras. Oh, I wanted to also show you the statistics tab that if you're an admin. So if you're a reporting admin, you can see the statistics tab. And down here, there's an assimilation option. And this is where administrators at your church can see all the different stages, how many people are in different stages. So there's several Connect groups on here that you could see all those as well. So you can create more than one Connect group, and if you create more than one Connect group, when you go to your city URL /kiosk, there would be a drop-down for you to choose which Connect group you are wanting to invite them to at that time. And if it's an open URL, that person, meaning that it's not a username and password to get to it, that person could choose the Connect group as well. So you would want to name it something clear that they know which Connect group they're choosing. Hopefully that makes sense. So there's just a couple more tips, and then I'll open it up for questions. So one recommendation is or you to keep one kiosk in your lobby for every 300 people that attend a service on a Sunday. So really that can be, again, a laptop, a iPad, a person walking around with a mobile kiosk. For the first several weeks of your launch, we recommend tripling that number, especially if that's kind of the primary way you're wanting people to get on the city. So if you have 300 people, then have 3 kiosks. It's pretty simple. And again, I would really strongly recommend that you utilize the mobile kiosk via any smartphone or tablet. That way you can have people wandering around, explaining what the city is, telling them you can invite them right then and there. And the open kiosk is totally up to you, depending on how you want to regulate who gets on your city. But you could, the first few weeks, that could be a good option for you to send out a link. Again, completely up to you. And another thing is, you know, people will get on your city that didn't come in through the kiosk, and they might need help getting connected. So it's a great idea to create a promotion for those that are already on the city that allows them to join that Connect group as well. So let's show you how to do that. There is a way to create an auto join URL that you could go to any, okay. So you would probably want to create this promotion within your church level group or a larger group so that anyone can see the promotion. So let's see if I go to Grace Fellowship is the church level group of this demo instance. Any leader or manager can create a promotion. So you go to settings and then there's a promotions tab. Make a new promotion. And then you would create some kind of graphic that says, you know, need help getting connected, need help finding a group, anything like that. Click here to join our Connect group. And if you can choose a URL that is a self-join URL so that when they click on the promotion, it goes to that URL, which is an auto join to the Connect group. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. How you get that self-join URL is if you go to your Connect group, you would add here right after the number of the group. So it's groups 3426 / and then you would add instant _ self _ join. So that is the instant self-join URL that you would put into that promotion. So again, when someone clicks it, they're automatically put into it, meaning they'll automatically get a message, a welcome message, and will be assigned to a Connect agent. So that's just a little additional tip there. So I'm going to open it up for questions now. And sorry, I was not watching questions as I was going. So let's see here. Go ahead and ask any questions you want, and I'll start looking at some questions that were asked as I was going. Okay, what is the difference between a leader and a manager? Good question. A leader is who is listed in the group info page. So if I go to the group info page, let's see, search, let's say I'm going to search for a group And so the leaders of that group are listed here. So I'm Emma in this group, and I'm a manager. So as you saw, I could do everything. I could reassign agents. I could view notes of participants, but I am not listed here. So a leader is basically just kind of who's responsible for the group, whose name is attached to the group, who people can see from this side, and could choose to message them or whatever. Okay? And that's the same that's true for any group type. The difference is basically leaders and managers can have the same power, but a leader is whose name is attached to it from that end. Okay, so the next question is, when you connect with a person and send them a message, do you get notified that the person wrote you back? Yes, so if they write you back, it's a message. So whenever you receive a message, if you chose in your account settings to be emailed, when you receive a message, you would get emailed, and then they would be housed in this messages tab, and it would also show up under that person when you're in there. So in account settings, I'm pretty sure the default is that you get emailed notifications, receive emails from messages. So if you have that checked, you'll get emailed. What is the purpose of the different welcome types? How do people use them? Honestly, I don't know if they're utilized that much. I haven't talked to any churches that utilize them, honestly, but if you had several different group types that kind of, or connect groups that fit the different welcome group types, let's see, she noticed it under settings. There's this connect group type, and there's community college, new believer. I believe it would just be within the reporting side that you could see, you could narrow down the connect groups by connect group types. So that's completely up to you. Yes, connect groups are searchable, like you saw me search for, unless you chose to make it hidden. So let me see if you can do it from the front end. You can't make it hidden from the front end, but from the admin panel under advanced settings, you could make it hidden if you wanted to. So let's see. Advanced settings, and then hide group from group search. So you can choose any group to hide from group search there. Oh. Okay. Okay, when someone is already in the city and they are invited to a group, how are they notified? I know there is an invite on the right, but is there any other indication? They're sent an email. Whenever anyone is invited to a group, they're sent an email that you have to click to accept the invitation. If you use that instant self-join URL, they would automatically be added. So when they go to their, under their groups, they would just automatically see the group, or sorry, group under here. So it's all through email notification. Can people be deleted, removed from the group, or do they just become inactive and remain there forever? So they're inactive. I believe from the admin side, you could go in and completely delete them. I think you would have to look up the user actually and completely delete them from the user admin side. Sorry, I don't have a 100% answer there. I'll look into it, and you can email me if you really want to know, Rachel@onthecity.org. When the agents change, does the message change? No. So it's the same message, but who it's from is dependent on what agent was assigned to that newcomer. So it's the exact same message that for everyone. So make it generic enough but make it so that it sounds like it came from that person. I mean, you don't want it to be obvious that it's a generic default message, but make it generic enough that it would make sense, to come from a person. Okay. The new guest must accept the invite before any of this works, correct? So in order for them to, from this view, to start the whole messages and all of that, yes, they have to accept the invite to the city. Once they accept the invite, that's when they get that welcome message. So basically, the order is, if they came in through the Connect kiosk, then they would get an invitation to your city, and then they would accept it and fill out their profile, and then they would get a welcome message after they've accepted that invitation into the city, and then that's what would start the whole messages back and forth. This, like Marilyn, she has not accepted her invitation yet, so she's gotten the invitation email, but that's it. So dependent on how many days you want to give Marilyn to accept that invitation, you could come in, get her contact info, and email her or call her and encourage her to accept that invitation. Okay, how do the community groups appear on the map? They appear once they're created, basically. So you have to put in an address. When you're creating community groups, it's important to add an address so that they appear on the map in the right location. So that's just automatically done. If you create a community group that, with the community group type, that with an address, they will appear on that map. What about management of offline users? I believe I've answered that, but you can keep notes there, and again, just keep encouraging them to get on the city. Are stages unique to each Connect group, or are they the universal? They are unique to each Connect group. So from within this group, you can go to any group. You can go to these that settings icon and change the stages. And a good way to know that that's true is because you can't create, well, never mind, it doesn't matter. It's just true. What about reporting on the admin side? So that's basically what I showed you from here. This is the statistics. You have to be a reporting admin, and you can get all of that information there. And it depends what reporting you're needing. We could talk, if you have a specific situation, we could try to figure it out together if this doesn't necessarily answer that. Okay, can you say who a participant is going to be assigned to, or is it just automated? It's just automated, if you have more than one person checked to be able to allow new participants. But if you just have one person, then that person would be assigned everybody, and then they could reassign it to whoever you want. So if you always want women to be assigned to women, it'd be a good idea to just have one person manning that so that you can assign it to the right person. Okay, do the notes message remain in the Connect group, or is that deleted as well? That's a good question. I'm curious if the notes are transferred, because as a user admin you can add notes, but I'm not entirely positive. I'm going to look into that. I know that if a person is inactive in a group, you could always reactivate them. So if you reactivated them, you could for sure see the notes and messages. I mean, if they're inactive, they're not going to show, you know, in this screen. But I'm not sure if the notes, once you, you know, if they show up somewhere else. I'm going to look into that. That's a good question. And actually, I'm going to keep answering questions, but I want to show you, I meant to show you earlier, sorry, is that the help desk is an invaluable tool for you. You can get to it by going to help in your top right corner and then browse the city help resources, which helpdesk.onthecity.org is also its own URL. You could just type that in. But if you, there's two things I for sure want to show you. So if you want to kind of, if this went too fast or whatever and you want to go through it again, we have a Connect or a help desk article with Connect videos in it. So if you just came here and searched Connect videos, search, you can get to the videos here, which has an overview, a case study, offline users, all right here. And then another really good thing is under, we have this implementation materials help desk article that has all of our quick start guides and lots of different things. So I camp out here a lot to send it to different people. But down here under quick start guides, there's a Connect group one, and it literally walks you from beginning to end. So it's long, but it's a lot of screenshots that you can get through it pretty quickly. So I definitely recommend that. So make sure to write down help desk, search Connect videos, and implementation materials to get to those two things. Those are my, you also can search other Connect articles, but those I think are the two most helpful things. Okay, I will continue on questions. Okay, on the kiosk page, where do they choose the Connect group? All right. So this is a kiosk with all the, under site settings, it's chosen that all Connect options are enabled. So let's see, I'm going to uncheck that. So the person filling out this kiosk can choose either only send invitation, which if they choose that, it only sends an invitation into the city. So basically they don't need help getting connected. If they choose help me get connected, that's, well, obviously I didn't enter. That's the button that will invite them into the Connect group. So if you have it open in your lobby, it's good to have people walking around explaining that. And if you really, some churches just really want everyone to go through the Connect group, then you need to have someone, you know, kind of point them in that direction to choose that option. Okay, is there an app for the mobile kiosk? there isn't an app right now, but if you just type in that URL into any smartphone, then it brings it up, very similar view as this. Can you change the name of agent? I'm guessing you mean you just don't like the word agent. No, you cannot. They're always going to be called agent. Obviously, they'll have different roles, but that's our universal name for that. Will the Connect agent be notified every time someone is assigned to them? We have folks who handle different stages of the new guest experience. They are not notified. If the person writes back to them, you know, so the new participant receives a message from them, and then if that newcomer writes back, then they would obviously be notified because they received a message. But otherwise, they would need to just, you know, as part of their week, every Monday morning, check their Connect group, see who they were assigned, something like that. For the auto join, can't we just access that option through advanced settings from the admin menu? So the admin menu, that allows the auto join, but if you want someone to literally click the link you know, on the promo and immediately be added just by clicking on the promotion, you would just add that instant self-join at the end of the URL. If you choose that option from the advanced settings and go to the group search, then I don't know if you remember earlier, but there was the Join Now button. That's basically, if you choose that, that's what happens, is that person could go to the group page and click Join Now. I don't know if this has it. I know that Meter Maid group, no. I'll just quick show you so you have another visual of it. And I know we're coming to the end of the hour, so you guys can sign off if you need to, but I will keep answering questions as well. So if you click that auto join, this shows up on the group info page, and as well, if anyone is manually invited to the Connect group, there wouldn't be a leader approval email, like the leader wouldn't be emailed to approve that invitation. We have many people in our Connect group, but many of them have not confirmed through their email to access the city. How can we continue to communicate with them? So that is the offline user. So if they haven't accessed their city, they would look like this, and then you could see their contact info here, and you'd have to communicate with them via email and phone, and then keep notes here, so that when they do finally join the city, all those notes would still be there. If you have more than one Connect group, should you not have an open kiosk so as not to confuse people? For instance, we have what's called a welcome group as our only Connect group right now. We're thinking of doing a membership Connect group for new member follow-up. If someone gets into the kiosk, won't they be confused when they have to decide between welcome group and membership group? Yeah, I think so. You would have to make it somewhat clear, but it sounds like, I mean, you would have to communicate somehow of what group they should choose. But I would say, unless you are really wanting to make it open, it doesn't hurt to just make it a closed kiosk, so that when you're in the wherever you would have a membership Connect group, you could open up that kiosk versus a welcome group. So hopefully that answers that. Kind of up to you, but it's all about communication. I agree it could be confusing. And if, let's say, you had those if you did leave it open, you could, and someone got into the wrong Connect group, you could, earlier, you can change what group they're in. There's a drop down. Under settings change, you can change the group there. So there is an option to quickly, you know, if a conversation is obvious they should be in the other Connect group, you could change it. What happens when someone fulfills two stages, such as visiting group and found service opportunity, and what to keep track of both? That's a good question. I know that really the stages are used to see who's in what stage. So if they move to the next stage, it would just show up as that stage. So unfortunately, that might have to be a manual tracking. I'm going to write that down as well as something to think through and work around there. Where does the custom message for new invitations show up for the user? That shows up in the invitation to the city. So the very first thing your newcomer is going to get is an invitation to your city. So the custom message for new invitations would show up in that text. If they then accept that invitation, then they would receive the welcome message from your Connect agent. Can you say who a user is going to be assigned to, or is it, sorry, I think I already answered that. Can you please show us again how to access the status of where a participant is in the Connect group steps? So if you are just on your assigned to me, you can see it right here under stage where they're at. And then you kind of see how many people are in this graph. Can you use the instant self-join for any group? Yes, you can. So it's just the same rule applies. You, right after the number up here, under that, after that slash, it would be instant underscore self underscore join. Will that safe change if reassigned? I think if, oh, I'm not sure what exactly you're asking, David. You know, this picture is the picture of the newcomers that they added to their profile. If you change them to a different agent, then, and that agent messages the newcomer, then they would see that person's picture in that message, if that makes sense. Can you go over offline users again? How did their record get into the city if they never joined? Do they take up room, i.e. do we pay for them? No, they don't take up room. They're not counted as a user, but they're just automatically added because they were invited into the Connect group through your Connect kiosk. It just communicated all that info. Again, the contact info that they put in at the kiosk, and then as well as if they were just invited by someone. Like, you know, you could just invite someone right here, and then they would be added as an offline user. Good question. On the kiosk page, is the neighborhood box a drop-down where they choose from areas we've predetermined, or do they fill in the blank with answers they make up? Let's see what, I think I'm in a neighborhood. Yes, West Junction. Okay. So, looking for a specific group. Yeah, it looks like it's just something you make up, so it's not a drop-down of all the neighborhoods. But if you have a neighborhood group set up and they accept their invitation into the city, and then put in their address, they're automatically going to be added to the closest neighborhood group. That's just how neighborhood groups work. So this would show up under notes, but really it's not a huge deal because once they put in their address, they're going to be added to a neighborhood group. Are there samples available of welcome messages we could use for our own city? Good question. That might be a good question. If you're in the church-to-church group on City Builders, so just in case you don't know, City Builders is a city instance where people like yourselves are all in, and there's a church-to-church group where you guys can ask each other questions, like how do you use a certain feature, or like this question you could say, what are some welcome messages you guys use, and then you could adjust from there. I mean, I could send you whatever demo one we have, but I'm not sure how helpful that is. I can't say I've actually read the whole thing. So Heather, let me know if you need to be invited into that church, if you're interested in being invited to that church-to-church group. So I could send you this if you'd like. Will this tutorial be again in the near future? I've seen most of it, but was cut off. Yes, so the plan right now is we'll probably have this once a month. I think the next one for Connect Groups is March 21st, if that's a Thursday. They're always Thursdays at 11:30 Pacific time. We also do ones on children's ministry, process manager. Those are kind of the main ones we're doing right now, but we'll also probably add some other topics as well in the future. Who can view the notes? If they're notes that you made, obviously you can view them. And then if any manager or leader in the group can view them as well, because you can go, because leaders or managers can view any participant, even if they're not assigned to you, and then you could go to notes and read them here. And then if that person is reassigned to a different agent, then that new agent could read the notes as well. Well, Charles helped answer an earlier question regarding deactivating a user. He said page 39 in the user admin chapter of the field guide has all the info on what happens to deactivated users. So if you want the user admin field guide, that is also under this implementation materials help desk article right there. So obviously I need to brush up on what happens there as well. Okay, on the report, can you link from the numbers on the report to the people they represent? Good question. I do not think so. Yes, there's no links here. So it's definitely more of just a numbers view. If your admin wants more details, they would have to ask the leader or manager to give them more details. If you have newcomers to add that don't go through Kiosk, how do they get assigned? So you can invite them, again, right here, through this invite someone link. Or if they, let's say, chose that instant self-join link from a promotion, they just, it's just literally a random assignment. Unless you choose only one person to get assigned, they will just get a random assignment. So the system just chooses somebody. So if you want more control, again, just only choose one person to get assigned to the agent, and then you can reassign them if you want. Yes, my contact email is Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L, at onthecity.org. I'd be happy to answer any questions there. Or you can message me if you're on City Builders or the Training City. Just look up Rachel Stanley, and it'll say city staff before my name, so you know it's the right person. When a user's role is changed to inactive because they have been plugged in, do we lose statistics of that user? In creating a quarterly report, you want to see how many users were plugged in, but obviously don't want to keep them in the Connect group if there is no need to, right? You could, if you run a report on your Connect group, you could see how many people were inactivated, and that could help you find a statistic of how many in a certain year or quarter. So I guess inactive is good, that it keeps them in the group so you still have some statistics there. So you could go to admin groups and then find your Connect group. Is a way, so you could do participant data, so you could see who's been, it's an Excel, if you do to Excel spreadsheet, you can see their status, their role, I guess, would be inactive, so you could see how many people were inactivated, if that makes sense. In the kiosk, are you able to have a find service group besides looking for community groups? No. It just says looking for a specific group. You could make a tag that says service, so that any service group that you make, you would tag it as a service group, and then it could show up there. So that's one way to do it. And to add a tag, group tags, you as an admin, account admin, go to site settings and group tags. And their add or remove is right there. Where can I put the auto welcome letter on the Connect group, but the people can't see except manager or leader can? I'm not exactly sure what you're asking. The auto welcome letter goes to the newcomer and is sent by the person they're assigned to. So if you, again, if you only want one person assigned, it would only come from that person. So I'm not sure if that answers that. If you want to expand on that, that'd be great. The purpose of the Connect group type is you have to make it a Connect group type for this to happen. Like, because, you know, a normal group looks like this. You know, it has postings or people interact and engage, and you can start a new post. But you have to make it a Connect group type in order for the participants to view it like a message, and then the leader, volunteer, manager could see it this way. As a follow-up to the inactive, keeping track of inactives, it says, however, they might be placed as inactive because they were either plugged in or they never responded. So how would you track the users were plugged in? I'm thinking it would need to be somewhat manual, unfortunately. We don't have all those tools to be able to keep track of specific things like that on here. So you can find inactive, and then you can view what stage they're currently in. Oh, gotcha. Okay. The group type question was actually from within the Connect group, which is under settings, and this is really just for reporting purposes. I believe you can't change these, so it just depends if you're going to have a lot of different Connect groups. If you want to make them a specific Connect group type, you can. They don't react any differently. All right, I made it to the end of the question box, so does anybody else have any questions? Thanks for hanging on. I know it's been well over an hour, but hopefully you guys are able to soak in most of that. Again, go to the help desk and get this Connect Group Quick Start Guide and watch some of the videos on that Connect Videos help desk article, and it'll sink in. It really helps if you're like me to actually do it, and it clicks. So I think a great way would be to print out this Connect Quick Start Guide and just literally go step by step and make your first Connect group, and then you can play with it from there. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and you can go to our website to see our different specialized webinars. I believe next week is the Process Manager. So if you go to resources, training, we have specialized webinars. And let's see, March 7th is the Process Manager one. So, and then, yes, March 21st is Connect Groups, Children's Ministry Setup, and Children's Ministry Admin Panel are the ones we have scheduled right now. So please join us, and I look forward to working with a lot of you that are on the call, and I'll talk to you later.